A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel and welcome to this collective message for you all. Let's get into it and let's find out what is it that you should be going through, listening to, and that will help you ascend. Okay, so I'm actually being shown the word bipolar. I'm being shown that there is a person around you who you have started feeling is a bipolar personality. You don't have any such measurement, or you're not like a lab researcher, but you've just researched about it, you've studied about it, you have been observing because you've been trying to figure out what is it that is wrong with this person, because there are times when they are happy with you and suddenly you realize that they're not happy with you, and it has become kind of difficult for you to cope up with this situation. So I'm being shown that either this person is borderline bipolar or they are actually proper hardcore bipolar, wherein this person has a kind of narcissistic personality disorder wherein they get suddenly very low, and you are trying to figure this out, that why is it you who has to face this, because you probably have also loved this person a lot and you have been trying to do everything that you can to make them happy, or you've actually taken their pain too personally. You have also felt guilty that they're in pain. Sometimes they're feeling very low from being a fun-loving, delightful person. That person suddenly becomes very dark, very moody, very angry. And when they're angry, they blame you also for many things that are not going good with that person. Now, this person's bipolarity is not an extreme one. It is a personality disorder, and I somehow feel that there are people who have serious depressive episodes. There are people who have really a lot of difficulty. They have manic episodes. They have sometimes very high energy levels. Sometimes they also engage in impulsive behavior. They also feel sad, hopeless, and they struggle with daily activities. That bipolarity is a mental health condition, and it's characterized by extreme mood swings. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about someone who has those traits of bipolarity. Like, you feel that it could have been some kind of sickness, but it's not. It's actually a result of narcissism also. It's not the type of bipolarity where one has to take pills, which is like very extreme. This one is sort of borderline, and this one is also a result of extreme pampering that they got in their childhood. So there are a couple of different types of people who display bipolarity. Not everyone is the same. Please understand this before we enter this session, because this session has been given to me for those people who have been suffering at the hands of a narcissistic person, a narcissistic lover. But actually it's coming from their roots. They are going through this because they have been with some unpredictable adults around them who, when they were obviously children, when you were children, whosoever resonates with you, I'm speaking to that person now. When you were a child, you have been around adults who would display unpredictable behavior, and it would be something that you have taken personally. Like, you have taken the responsibility of fixing it or making it all right, and you've been doing it by your joyful attitude. Like, if you see your parent very down and depressed, say you have an alcoholic parent, you had one, or some other addiction pattern they had, and in the night they were very happy when they were drinking, they were probably dancing with you, singing with you, you were having a good time. Because for a child, they don't know these things, like someone is an alcoholic or someone has an addiction pattern. For a child, they just love people unconditionally. So as a beautiful child, you were just playing, being happy. You didn't care if your father or your mother or someone else was drunk and that's why they were dancing and singing with you. But you just feel happy that they were doing those things with you. Now, next morning, they may have an opposite mood, like they could be having a headache from drinking too much, they could have thrown up, they could have vomited, they could have felt not so nice. It could also be possible that before sleeping they gave you a bunch of cash, they gave you some money, or they offered to take you somewhere in the morning, because that time they were feeling very high, energized, and they were in the mood to party, they were in the mood to chill. So they made some commitments in the night, and in the morning when they wake up, they see that there's some money gone from their purse. They'll probably come to you and ask you to return it, or you would be waiting for them, that in the morning my father or my mother or both my parents will wake up and we'll go out to the mall, or we'll go for a picnic, or we'll simply go to the park. We'll do some things, nice things. But in the morning, it's completely different, because you have just woken up from being the same happy, content child, but they have woken up from something else. So the point that I'm trying to make over here is that certain extreme mood swings are a result of bad habits also. So that's why I use the word bipolarity. I'm not using this statement as a medical condition over here. Okay. So people who display opposite moods, and it's being done in a very unpredictable manner. And the child who is now grown up into the adult is trying to fix their mood swings, their anger, their frustration, their blame, their own laziness. See, on this ascension journey, a lot of you people must have realized that you've changed a lot. And I don't know why I feel like saying this, even though some people would say you're trying to make everyone look superior than others, but I'm not. I have noticed that people who have this beautiful energy, the twin flame energy, they could be star seeds, they could be non-star seeds also, they could be from the earth plane, but whatever their feeling is about things in general, I always see an excitement in them, I always see a happiness in them. And I think this is the one big reason why they've always moved on from so many problems. There is nothing that they cannot handle. That's the thing I love the most about the people that I'm channeling today. So you probably sometimes even done it in a way that you've taken it upon you, that it is your responsibility to make people happy, it is your responsibility to make sure they're smiling all the time. But I think sadness is also a friend, because sometimes, and in many cases, it is when you feel extremely sad, extremely low, you cry, you release your emotions, you can feel better. With people who display these symptoms that I'm talking about, being moody, being annoying sometimes, being nice, displaying these different types of behavior and not having a control on them, those behavior patterns, not apologizing for it ever, or not making up for it, not doing anything, like, okay, fine, you have a bad mood, okay, but after you're normal, you would probably have a talk with the child. So why this child who's now an adult, why this child is suffering is because they never got the answers in childhood. I'm not saying that these are things that cannot happen to human beings. They can. But it's something called programming, which is so deep rooted in the system of human beings that many a times a child who never got the answers to why this happened or why that happened actually starts believing that the treatment they are getting is something that they deserve. And thus when they grow up, they attract friends, partners, colleagues, and so many other people who display the same characteristics. For example, maybe as a child, the parents or the adults made a plan in the night or in the evening that they will take you to some toy store just to do window shopping, just so you can have a look at the new things in the market. And you are this understanding child who's not even asking them to buy stuff to you. You just tell them that let's go out and we'll have a good time. Probably you want to play on the swings. I'm being shown the swings a lot. I'm being shown the plastic swings as well as the ones that are in the park, the open swings. The seesaw, I'm being shown. Someone in their childhood used to go through this traditional swing which was made from cemented material, and then when it's like shiny and very smooth, then children can especially move down from it. So I'm being shown the tire swings, traditional swings. I'm being shown all types of these toddler and kid swings that this person used to love going to. So maybe on one of those days, they had this like excitement, but their excitement was met with or dealt with a lot of bad behavior by the adults. Like maybe they were having a bad time, they were having some business problem, or they were having a fight of their own. And at that time, the child who was all ready to go with their little cute bag and with all of their stuff inside the bag, maybe they carried a favorite doll or a favorite toy, like an airplane or a car or a little doll. They carried it. They maybe carried some nice things to eat, like they've probably hidden some biscuits, so they keep it in their bag, and they wear their best clothes, their best shoes, and they do all of this without the help of the adult. So I'm also getting very emotional here in this channeling, because the child goes through a lot of emotional situation over here, but I think they don't cry it out. They've not cried it out, so that's why it has gotten stuck. The sadness did not complete properly. The completion did not happen. So the child was probably scolded even when it was not the child's fault at all, and the child had nothing to do with whatever bad things were happening to these people. The child was scolded and the child was asked to just go wherever, just leave, do your own thing, just don't appear in front of them for a while. So this type of, not only the parents like forgetting about their commitment, secondly, totally ignoring what the child was doing since morning, waiting up for them, getting dressed up, eating their own food, just because the child was excited. Because they were so excited, they really did not need anybody's assistance. So this definitely was one of their favorite things to do. And getting this horrible, harsh treatment unnecessarily, maybe the child even got slapped. I can see some kind of physical gesture also which they were faced with, like a slap or a push, or like probably someone just picked up their bag and threw it away, because their positive energy was so triggering. In that moment, their joy de vivre attitude, their positivity, their smiling, beaming face was so triggering for a person who's possessed with negative energy, that they just wanted to make the child cry and go into a corner and not show them that positive and happy attitude. I'm also being shown the video game parlor. It's a little bit old one, wherein, 20 years back, the type of video game parlor where you would just put in a coin and you could play for a number of minutes or for some time. I'm being shown a little boy playing in that place just to get like an escapism. And this child who's playing in the video game parlor is trying to forget all the bad things that they probably have witnessed at home or maybe in the neighborhood. This is their venting place. This is the place where they get the thrill. And there is an opposite mood even for the child. So I'm actually channeling both the people. I'm channeling the person who is reflecting these opposite polar mood swings, and I'm also being shown the child who was treated in a bad way. So both of them had an escape mechanism. Number one, the boy I'm being shown was just going out, playing the games, trying to forget whatever happened to them. They probably even stole some coins just to play over there, because they had like no other thing in their mind to do to feel good, trying to look for something. And the little child who wanted to go to the swing park maybe has gone into their dark zone and just sitting and looking at the wall, just trying to doodle something, but they are not crying. Both the children are not crying. They are not releasing their pain, and that's where the pain is stuck. If you listen to this channeling and if you remember any incident, please talk about it. Please mention it in the comment section. If you feel like crying after that, you can, okay? It will help you out. Share your story with other people. In this channeling session, clearly I'm not being shown what should be your next step, because you would definitely get the guidance. But what I'm trying to do over here is, what the message is for all of you is to go into your childhood and look for the place where you were treated very badly by some of your adults. I mean, we will go into the nitty-gritties maybe some other time, but just go through that episode, just relate with that episode, just touch that child's head, just give that child some love that you can as a grown-up adult who knows what the child is going through. This situation could have also happened in school, where you probably had a teacher who was extremely abusive, who was slapping you, or who was doing something mean to you, maybe throwing a duster at you, or throwing a chalk at you, or a marker at you, or just acting like a demon who doesn't want children to be happy. So whenever they see a happy child, they will just go and do something mean, so that the child just goes into a sad zone, or the child is scared. I'm actually being shown they don't want to make the child sad. They just want the child to not be happy, or not display their happiness and confidence in open surroundings, like socially or publicly. So this is a specific type of demon that attacks children. And this demon also looks for people who are extremely depressed, who are extremely angry with the world. People who don't like to do much inner work, they just blame others, and they're very angry with the world. They obviously need therapy, but they don't think about therapy because they are those type of narcissistic people who do not think anything is wrong with them. Everything is fine with them. They don't need to work on their anger, or they don't need to do anything. Like, they're fine. So whenever they get possessed by this demon, they will look for a happy child and try to persuade that child to not be happy. Or even if the child is happy, not display it. It's a very tricky thing that they do, and they can start by first just talking to the child, trying to tell the child that, hey, whatever you believe in is not correct, or you should not do it. Then they would be a little bit more stern in the next meeting, and slowly and gradually they will take control of the child, and they will use physical gestures like beating them, pushing them, kicking them, all those kind of things. So these are very dangerous people, and they are depressed. They are very depressed, but in a very trickery kind of way. These type of people are actually pure evil, I feel, and they can never heal, they can never fix. They can only fix, or they can only heal when some of their own person, some very close person, maybe their own child, treats them badly, or does not do well in life, or basically gives them back what they deserve. Whatever they've been doing to the whole world, they get it back from the child, and that's why, or that's when they probably realize that, okay, I've been doing something horrible. Or it could be because of some kind of awakening, a rude awakening they go through because of, again, some very painful episode, and they are forced to look within and realize that they have been a very big sinner. Okay, we are all sinners, my dear friends. We have all sinned, but anybody who surrenders to source and masters, and anybody who thinks that, yes, I can heal myself, or I must heal myself, is literally not a narcissist. Narcissists are those people who do not think, who actually think that they have no problem at all. Like, they cannot think that they need to work. They're always perfect. They're always right. There's nothing wrong with them. Okay. So this is where I'm going to close this channeling session. You can also work with me in therapy sessions and heal narcissistic abuse patterns. And you can check out the details in the description box. You can get a personal session, and you can also support my content if you like it. Support my mission and content by clicking on the super thanks button or going through the PayPal link. I will see you soon in another one. One love, peace out, and Jai Shri Ram.